So today we're going to draw some realistic human heads. Now there's an easy way to do it, and then there's a slightly better but more complex way to do it. The first way is to draw an oval, or an egg if you want to look at it. You want a little bit more pointy down here. And then we're going to draw a center line. This center line helps to keep the left and the right sides even. Now we're going to draw a line through the middle. The eyes are going to go on this line. A common mistake is for people to draw the eyes up here. Your eyes are not in the middle of your forehead. Your eyes are actually right in the center of your skull. And a lot of people don't believe me, but if you look at your face, your hairline is actually right about here. A little higher than halfway. All this is where your hair starts growing, and your eyes are in the center. So I'm going to draw some eyes, and one thing about eyes is there should be enough room between the eyes to draw a third eye. Now we're not doing this to make monsters. If you look at any human face, there's exactly enough room to draw a third eye. Let me draw a bad example here. If you draw the eyes too big or too close together, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it looks kind of cartoony though. If we want to draw realistic here, you could not fit a third eye in there. It'd have to be a smaller eye. This is the worst way to do it. If we've got a head, if you draw your eyes too far apart or too small, that looks very, very weird. There's just really something wrong with this face here. Now, anime eyes follow the same rule. So if you've got a face, and we don't just make bigger eyes, we have that third space to consider. So if you look at anime character, they actually make the head wider to hold those eyes. So if I make a couple of marks, and make a couple of marks here, here's some anime style eyes, and notice there's room for a third eye in there. Okay, there's room for a third eye now. And then the nose on a character is halfway down. If we draw a line right through here, there's the tip of the nose. And it's the same with an anime character too. And then your ears go from your eye line to your nose line. That's where your ears are. So if you draw an oval and you draw a center line and you split it in half and split it in half and split it in half, so you've got 4 quarters. You put your eyes on, not up here, not between the lines. You put them smack on this line. And you have room for a third eye. And then put your tip of your nose here and your mouth a little bit below it. And your ears here. And your hair here. You'll get a pretty well-proportioned human face. This is the simple way to do it. I got to talk about some other details here. When you're doing a nose, this is all you need. That's it. Little mouth like that. Looks like a smile almost. Please do not try to draw more lines than this unless you really know what you're doing, because the nose is not really defined with lines. Like your mouth is actually a line. You have borders on the edge of your eyes. Your nose is defined by shading. If you try to draw lines to show the nose, it looks like it's been tacked and it's just kind of hanging there. So if you want to be a little fancy with the nose, here's the tip of the nose. We can draw the sides of the nostrils here like this, because there is kind of a crease there. Your nostrils would be here. Please don't draw nostrils until you've had some experience, because you look like a pig if you do it wrong. But the whole side of the nose here, we would want to define that with shading. That's how you get a good nose there, by shading where the light and shadow is. But since we're not doing shading in this lesson, we're just going to do a little line like that for the nose. We're going to draw an actual face here. We're going to slow it down a bit. I like to draw both sides at once. It helps me keep them even. And then we're going to draw our eye line. Now, to know where the eyes go, one way is to draw a couple of tick marks like this. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. If they're evenly spaced apart, that's a good spacing for the eyes. Now, there should actually be a little bit more space here. There should actually be 5 eyes that fit in your head. So we want to make these a little bit smaller. There we go. There's a little bit too much space there. Let's work on it again. You just kind of eyeball this. We could put an eye here almost, an eye here almost. There is a little bit of space between the side of your head. Then for the eyes, an easy way to do an eye is you just make a curved line. And then you make almost a circle. I'm going to talk about eyes a little bit right now. And I'll show you some common mistakes. Your eye generally has this center part, your iris, and the top of it is covered by your eyelid. You really won't see white of the eye above this. So you have an eye like this. If you've got an eye like that, you can see white above it. This is somebody who's terrified. Their eyes are open wide. Some people's eyes, there's no white underneath the bottom either. However, a lot of people's eyes do have white underneath as well. Now, there's another common mistake I see people do, is they won't put enough of this. They'll draw the eye like that. And now your person's looking up at the sky. So you want to draw almost a circle. You could draw a circle and erase the top part of it. And that would give you a pretty good simple eye. We can go all out and make more lines and draw tear ducts and things, but we want to keep this kind of simple today. So curved line and a circle underneath. Almost a circle. Now, halfway down again is the tip of your nose. We're just going to draw a little, almost a smile there. It won't look like a smile because it's where the nose would be. Now your mouth is actually as wide as your eyes. If you take these lines straight down, that's where your tips of your mouth would be. But visually that looks a little bit big. So I'm going to draw this a little bit smaller. This lips is almost halfway down, but it's a little bit higher, maybe about a third of the way between this line and the bottom of the chin. Now, I'm going to go off and talk about lips a little bit. You draw a line, and you can draw a little shadow underneath, and that's really all you need for lips. This is the little shadow from your lip. You're not even drawing the lips. Now, we can also draw a little thing like that. These are called implied lines. Your brain is connecting these lines automatically, even though there's no lines there. Now, if you actually try to draw these, you've got lipstick on. If you're drawing a guy, you want to avoid this. So I'm just going to draw a line down there, and that's all I need for my mouth. And let's put eyebrows in. It's easy to forget eyebrows. You wonder why your character doesn't look very good, and you can't figure out what it is. It's probably because you forgot to put eyebrows in it. Okay, now for the ears, we're going to draw a curved line, and a curved line, and a curved line. That gives you a pretty good ear. If you draw like a half a circle, then you have trophy head. We don't want that. But if you try a little experiment, if you put your fingers here underneath your ears and draw your fingers forward over your face, you'll hit the tip of the nose. If you've got glasses, you know that your eye lines up with this. This is a reason that glasses have that earpiece that goes straight. If your eye wasn't lined up with your ear, then your glasses would have something looking like that, I guess, to go around. It'd be a little strange. Now for hair, your hairline is, well, not quite halfway, maybe about a third from the top. And this is where the hair grows. Here's a common mistake that people do, is they'll put hair like this. Your hair isn't really just on the top of your head with this big giant forehead. If you've done this way, that means you are bald from your eyebrows all the way up to the crown of your head, like a Klingon. This isn't where your bangs go. This is where your bangs start. All of this ought to be hair. And generally this should go down, give some sideburns. We will draw hair in some other lesson. Now if I want to draw bangs hanging down, then I would draw bangs hanging down over the forehead. Now, your neck is not this wide. For a cartoon character, you can do that. If you're doing an anime character, you can get away with this. But if you want to be realistic, if you reach up and touch where your ears are, your fingers are on your neck. That means your neck is almost as big as your whole head. Almost. So if I go down a little bit and draw a couple lines like this, because there's a lot of stuff that's got to go on in your neck. You've got a windpipe to breathe through, you've got an esophagus to swallow through, you've got a spine with your spinal column in it, you got a bunch of veins, you got a whole bunch of muscles to hold up 8 pounds of head. So, I mean, that's a lot of stuff that's got to go in that neck. Your neck is fairly large. So, here's a basic human head.